That's what happens when you try to follow bad Brad. This is sketchy. He almost got hit with the branch. Dang it, Brad. We are going to the front of the property, right off the hillside. I've got some trees that are kind of spread out. A lot of them are elms and different things I really don't want because I want to open up the view. But what makes me nervous is when all the leaves fall, I have a harder time determining what a tree is. I know that may sound silly to some people. We're not the best at determining trees. And so while the leaves are still on right now before they fall off, we're gonna come through and chop some of these suckers down and get this area looking pretty. If you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, I would like for you to subscribe to my channel and also like these videos. Thanks.
Make me work, make me sweat inside, make me feel like I'm alive. Take this hurt, lady, throw it in my face. Don't let these bones slow you down. Cause I'm coming on strong, the grass should've looked greener. I need a true believer in disguise. If I'm loving you wrong.
The A-team has arrived. I brought reinforcements. Let's go cut some wood. Hit the like button. Where'd it go? It's gone. They said it was warm. We'll leave it. Let's start taking out these elms. We'll leave that one right this second, but let's take down those. So we got the two skid steers going right here. This is the skid steer. It's got the high flow. It makes that blade go really, really fast. You can see it's almost like a stump grinder. And then they got the smaller skid steer running around, knocking down some of the smaller trees. They told us to start a big bonfire over there because they got so much brush we're trying to get rid of. It's kind of windy, but we got a big one going over there. Ah, this is sick. So windy. We normally wouldn't start a bonfire being this windy, but it's so wet. It's okay. There goes my pretty oak tree. Going into the danger zone. I gotta watch where I step, because if I trip and fall, you're gonna put it in the video and make fun of me. Dude, this is part of the property I've never even seen before because it's always so thick I can't get back here. So there's a fence line over there. I think that's gonna be my west side of the property, which, like I said, I've never been back here before. I'm gonna get rid of all these dang cedars. we're here on the back side of the 40 acres being the western property line right here. This is the start of their 4th day with having the track and the 2 skid steers out here. And as you can tell, there's quite a bit of stuff that's been cleared out. Previously, like, you really couldn't walk down here. I mean, it was so thick, for sure, couldn't bring a vehicle. You can see where my car is up there on the hill. We could drive down from the top to the pond. That's about the only spot you can drive. Everything else is completely grown up. So again, 4th day, I believe, with the track hose and 2 skid steers, they cleared out all the trees in here. And you can see these 2 big bonfires. We got a lot of good drone footage for you guys to check out. We got these 2 suckers going. The goal is going to be taking all the material from down here. We're gonna take off the topsoil, which is great topsoil. I'm excited about using this to grow all my grass and everything we're gonna use for the pasture for the cattle, and just growing some good Bermuda and keeping it nice and mowed and keep the property pretty. I'm excited about this topsoil. But once we take the topsoil off, we got a lot of clay down here. We're gonna use that clay to build up our home pad up top. I know we've talked about this before, but at the very top, we kind of have this rounded ridge. And instead of taking the rounded part down and lowering the elevation of our house, I want to add dirt to where we bring up the rounded part and it's one flat surface up top. So we're gonna get 2 birds with 1 stone. And what I mean by that is we're gonna take all this clay down here and use that for the home pad. We're gonna use it for the tiny home community. And then we're also gonna use it for the road to build it up so it drains well when we go to put gravel on it. But with us stealing all this clay down here, we're going to end up making a really, really large pond is the goal. And so this little pond here, I mean, it's so small. I mean, it's probably 100 by 100, so it's just real small and it's all silted in, doesn't hold water well. So hopefully here in the next 30 minutes, we can catch that with the video camera and the drone footage. We're gonna break that dam and see if we can't drain this sucker out. That's the reason we've got all the equipment out here, clearing all this up so we get all the dirt. And then of course, when we're up at our main house and up at the tiny home community, you'll look down and hopefully see this big, beautiful pond. We don't know how big it's gonna be. Jace is estimating the dam up top to the backside could be about 30 foot tall is kind of what he's saying. We won't know anything until we put a laser on it and figure all that out, but that's a really, really big dam, and this should make for a pretty awesome pond. So we're really excited about that because I've always been into ponds. You guys will see our cabin out on the 17 acres. We built a big 4-acre pond out there. We're waiting for it to fill up right now. We're needing some rain, but it's all ready to go. We'll get it stocked. We've got a dock on it. We're gonna do the same thing out here. I don't know how big this pond's gonna be. It could be 3 acres. It could be 5 or 6 acres, but we'll see. But while it's dry, we'll probably build a nice dock going out into it. Once it gets filled, we'll fill it up, stock it with some nice fish. The way the land lays right here, there's a big valley through here. And you can kind of see why they would have dammed this up years ago. We don't know how long ago it was because there's this huge oak tree. We're imagining the pond's probably built first, and then this oak tree has grown since this pond was built. So that means this pond's really, really old. I just don't see them building this pond and putting a tree right in the middle of the spillway. So that's why I believe the pond is much older. So this is probably a bigger pond back in the day. It's just over time it's been silted in. Like I said, we kind of have a low little valley area in here that goes back that way a couple 100 yards. And so when we make this pond, we should have plenty of water coming off the hillside from this direction and this direction, going down in the valley and then filling up the pond. So we're really excited about that. And of course, again, 2 birds, 1 stone. We get to use all that material where normally most people would bring that material in. That would cost a lot of money. We're able to, I mean, in a sense, get free material. I mean, we're having to pay for the equipment and the labor and time. But with getting that material brought up to our home pad, getting everything level, keeping the elevation to where we can still maintain the views, we're gonna get a really cool pond out of it. So we're really excited about that. This whole area had a lot of trees, but it's almost what I would call like new growth. It's like this was pasture land 15, 20 years ago. I'm guessing on that time frame, but at some point in time, they just stopped maintaining it and all these trees started growing. So as you look across here, you can look at these trees. I mean, these trees are probably only 10, 15 years old. Lots of pretty oak trees. We're actually gonna try to cherry pick those and put those on different places of the property is the goal. We'll see if we can do that. But everything else we've taken out just been cedar trees and elm trees. But we're not taking out any big trees other than some larger cedar trees. So with this being all new growth, it doesn't hurt my feelings as much taking out this stuff so that we can get the fill dirt and get the pond built. But as we step into the woods here, this area has probably been woods for hundreds of years. As you'll see, I mean, there's just some massive, massive oak trees. We got a really big elm tree over there. Just really, really cool area. So this is actually part of the land that I've never even walked because it's been so thick and so grown up you couldn't get in here. So where we're walking right now is actually the first time I've ever been on this part of the property. The other crazy thing is, because this has been so thick, I've never seen my southwest corner back here because I haven't been able to get to it. Again, we got Jace over there. He's got the carbide saw. We got to be careful not get too close to him. So like big cedar trees like this, I mean, they're just so big and so straight and pretty. Honestly, like we're gonna keep that one because there's no other trees around it it's really affecting other than other cedar trees. We'll take those out. There's no telling how old this tree is. The crazy thing is, it's had all the cedar trees around and all this stuff, just stealing all the nutrition and all the water. And it's kind of, in a sense, choked itself out. So the cool thing is, now that we've cleared out all the junk stuff around it, this sucker really should take off and do really, really well. But golly, that's just a beautiful old oak tree. I love seeing that stuff. I keep telling my boys we're looking for an area to build a tree house for them. And again, we've not been in here and seen all these trees, but the rest of the property, we really don't have really big trees like this. And so I'm really excited getting in here and opening these things up. This one, that's a big old oak tree and it's got that limb that just kicks out and down and up. I mean, that looks like it's defying gravity with having a limb way out there. That's just so impressive. And then look at that big elm tree right there. That's probably the biggest elm tree in my property. Looks like someone tried building a tree house in it one time. But yeah, that's just a huge tree. This is kind of where I was thinking putting a tree house. Look at the beautiful sunlight hitting it. He's like, thank you, thank you. I've been waiting for years for this. Man, I love it. I'm not a big tree hugger, but man, it feels good to hug a big tree like this. If you guys have any questions with what y'all have seen today with everything we're doing between clearing out the trees and making the pond and doing all the dirt work, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to answer any questions you guys may have.